Hey, what up guys? We're going to be talking about, is Metallica, Megadeth, and Slayer still relevant today? Because I think Metallica, Megadeth, and Slayer, they put out new music, but is the music relevant and is it still great? Because people are still expecting to hear Metallica's like Ride the Lightning Part 2 or Master of Puppets Part 2, or they're trying to hear Megadeth, Peace Cells, or Symphony of Destruction Part 2, or they're trying to hear Slayer's Dead Skin Mask or Raining Blood Part 2, and Slayer and Megadeth and everybody's like, we're not putting out that kind of music, we're just putting out what we're doing, and we're putting out music. So Slayer for the last like 10 years has been putting out decently good music, but it's nothing compared to the early 80s or early 90s. Don't believe me, I'm a Megadeth fan, even though I don't buy a lot of their music. Here's all the Megadeth CDs that I have. A great album. I'll say this, a somewhat lackluster album. You go to Rust in Peace, which is a great thrash album when they had Marty Freeman as the lead guitar player. Then you go on to the live album, which is pretty decent for a live album. Then you're getting into the albums that are not that great, like Rude Awakening, which is basically like another greatest hits album, which I don't know why bands just put out hits after hits after hits on greatest hit albums. You need one greatest hit album, that's it. Then you got one of the greatest metal albums of all time, which is Peace Cells and Who's Buying, one of the greatest albums of all time. This album is not a great album. It's not heavy, it's not aggressive, it's the Risk album. I don't know why they call it Risk, because you ain't taking a risk on that album. And then you have this album, The World Needs a Hero, which I really technically have never really put this in and really bumped it or listened to it, because it's not a great album. It's one of those albums that Megadeth put out there that is very lackluster and not that great. Like I said, I still got a couple other Megadeth albums over there, but I just want to let you guys know that I still bump CDs. But do you think any of these albums are still relevant? Like the last couple albums I showed you are not relevant. They're not great music. It's like they put out music that is supposed to be great, supposed to be heavy, but it's like it's not great, it's not heavy, it's not what Megadeth fans want. Megadeth fans, I think here's what they should do. If you're in a band that is like Metallica, Megadeth, or Slayer, or the Big Four, and you're not putting out legit great music, you should just focus on touring, and that's about it. Because at the end of the day, who wants to hear stuff that is lackluster, something that is not what you're capable of doing? Because Megadeth has been known for putting out one of the greatest thrash albums of all time, Peace Cells, and Metallica is known for putting out Master of Puppets and Kill 'Em All. And when you hear Death Magnetic, which is okay, I would say Death Magnetic is kind of thrashy, but not really. So at the end of the day, do you guys think Megadeth, Slayer, and Metallica are not really relevant, even though they still put out music that are after that are the great albums? That's like if you're talking about great Metallica, you're talking about the early 80s into the late 80s is what Metallica's known for. But for being relevant, I don't really think any of these bands are relevant today. I think they're just putting out music because people want new music, but I think a lot of fans want new music. They're expecting new music, but they want that Master of Puppets Part 2, and they definitely want like Ride the Lightning Part 2. They want that, but Metallica's not giving you that. So as always, I really don't think Metallica and Megadeth and Slayer are really relevant anymore, even though they're still putting out pretty decent, okay music.